Welcome in, everybody, to episode 5 of my Pro Unreal Engine Developer series here. And today we're going to finish up our check engine into P4 task that we've been working on the past couple of weeks. And if you remember from last time, we actually finished checking in the engine itself, and now we need to perform a whole bunch of checks to make sure that everything worked correctly. And similar to last time, this is going to be one of those times where you're going to have to be sitting around waiting for things to load for quite some time. So make sure you have a book handy or something to keep you occupied while you're waiting. And with that, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the description. And just so you know, by the way, this video might be significantly shorter than the other ones, but it's still going to take you quite some time to accomplish everything in here. Alright, so we're going to search for P4V and get that open again. And now we're going to perform some checks inside of Perforce. So we go to Search, Find File, and now we're just double checking that our settings we put in 2 times ago worked. Alright. So we're going to search depot/engine and put another ... in there. And that's like the full path that we're going to be searching here. And we want ends with .dll. And what we're doing here and with all these other checks is just making sure our workspace mappings that we put in worked correctly. So here we're seeing a lot of binary plus SW, which is good because that's what we told it to be for .dlls. And you can sort by file type and just wait for this to be done populating. And just sit tight while I skip ahead. Alright, so we sorted by file type, and we see they're all binary plus SW, so we're looking good. Alright, so now we have the next check. We want to check .exe. So same thing, we're just going to sit tight. I think there are less of these, so it's not going to take as long. So we're still sorted by file type, and that binary plus SWX is what we're looking for, so that's good. Alright, so now the next one is going to be .config. And this again, there aren't as many as the .dlls, so we'll just do them right now. And that text -w is what we're looking for. So we're good there. Alright, so now we want Unreal Build Tool. And just starts with for this one. And we've got a lot of writable, but then we see there are some of these that are just text files, so that's not great. We need them to be writable. So what we're going to do is click and shift click, change file type. Oh, try again. Then we want to make it -w, so that means always writable. And we can add it to a new change list, so see those are changed. And we're going to call this change list something so we know what it is. And we'll just say edited file types found during the checking. But yeah, if you run into any of these checks and it doesn't look like mine and something isn't writable that was for me, just do the same process and just make them writable using the edit and make writable. So we're going to do that again for this one. And you'll see again that even though it's a different file type, the process is exactly the same. And we can just add everything to that one change list because we're going to have to change a lot of these. And no sense making a whole bunch of change lists when we're pretty much just doing the same thing. Alright, so now we want to search for build graph dot automation. And you see this one is also not writable, so we'll fix that as I struggle to find the change file type. Alright, looking good. So now we're all done with our checks in P4, but we still don't want to close it down because we're going to have to do some editing in there as a result of these next checks. So we want to go into our file here where our engine is and open up a PowerShell and / generate project files.bat. And this is probably going to result in an error because a lot of these files end up being write locked by Perforce by default. And there we go. So basically, we need to do exactly what we've been doing. We can open it up, and it'll tell us a file that is access denied. And basically what that means is we just need to make it writable. So we can copy that. So just highlight it and right click like I did there. And now we can go back into Perforce. And we need to update this to just the depot. So not the engine, because we want to be searching for everything that matches this. And we can go to contains and just paste it in. And sure enough, that file isn't writable. So we're going to do it again. Change file type, writable, add it to that same change list. Now we're going to try again and see if it errors out again. And it seems to be happy now, but we'll see. Sometimes it errors out in the middle. But yeah, that's all this is going to be. We're going to do a whole bunch of different things, and hopefully they'll work, and if not, we'll go make the file writable. Easy enough. Alright, so that worked. Now our next step is to go into our solution that just got generated again. And again, we'll just wait for this to boot up. Alright, any minute now. And we're just going to try to build the solution for UE5. And it's almost certainly going to yell at us that a whole bunch of files are write locked. Yeah, we can get rid of that. Just get rid of the show on startup thing. And build the engine. And here we go, a whole bunch of errors. So what you want to do is scroll up to wherever the first one was. Because yeah, we see a whole bunch of errors there. I think I'm going to stop it in a second. Once it's to sign in, you don't really have to sign in. And you just press Control-C to stop the build. Alright, and see we have access to path and then a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so I used the actual build cancel that time instead of the hotkey. Interesting. Yeah, so we just want to do the same thing. Just copy .deps.json. I remember that one being a problem in the past. And we can clear all. And we want ends with .deps.json. And of course, there are a whole bunch of them that aren't writable. Yeah, literally all of them aren't writable. Not great. Oh, there are a few that we caught with the build tool fix. But click, shift click, and we'll change our file type. I'm really having a lot of trouble finding that, which isn't great. Alright, so now we'll give it another shot. And make sure you clear the log so you don't confuse yourself. And yeah, we see a whole bunch of errors already. Build, cancel. All right, now there are a whole bunch of these XML files, but you don't want to just make all the XMLs. Yeah, so we'll copy epicgames.box.xml because you don't want to just blanket make all the XML files writable. Only the ones that are involved in the building of the project. So change file type on these again. Same change list and bang that in. All right, we'll do it again. It's going to be another .epicgames.something.xml. I don't remember which one it's going to be. epicgames.horde.xml. And if you're getting a little worried about all these files, don't worry about it. Most of these we're never going to be interacting with. We just need them to build the engine and generate project files and do all that stuff. So we'll make those writable. Okay. All right, one more time. Got another error. So build cancel. Another one there. Just copy it. Exact same thing. And again, don't worry if you're seeing different files than me. The process is exactly the same. Perforce has a mind of its own sometimes. So that's why we're doing this. Ideally, our mappings would take care of all these, but that doesn't work out all the time. All right, we're going to run it differently this time. So make UE5 the project right there and press local Windows debugger. And hopefully we'll get through this time without an error. And while we wait around here, thank you guys so much for watching. And let me know if you have any feedback in the comment section, or if you just want to say hi, that's a good place to do it. Also, like the video for sure. It really helps me out a ton in the algorithm and gets more people to see it. So for anybody who's doing that, I really appreciate it. Alright, so there we just closed out of the build and right click and build to make sure we have no errors. I just didn't want the engine to launch, is why I closed out. And we can close out of this, and unfortunately, I selected the update on close for Visual Studio. So the recording looks a little screwy here. But we'll go into hide, seek, survive, and we need to generate our project files. So right click, show more options, generate project files. And it seems like that went well. But it's screwing with my installation. So yeah, I'm just going to skip ahead until this is done. Alright, so now we're going to give that another shot. So same thing. Right click. Show more options. Generate project files. And it seems like everything went well. So that's good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you have a game in a custom built engine, it doesn't pop up with any confirmation or anything. Which is a little disorienting, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to try going into terminal and doing it in here, but it's not going to work. It actually does generate the project files for everything in the folder when we did it earlier on the engine, so we're actually fine. But I'm paranoid about it, so we'll do it one more time just to make sure it's all good. Yeah, I'm just expecting to see that pop-up that usually comes up, but it's not coming up. That's the reason I'm doing it 100 times. But as I mentioned, we're all good. And just as a test here, I'm going to delete the intermediate and binaries folders and generate the project files again. And by the way, when you're generating the product files, it actually generates that intermediate folder. So now after that test, I felt like I was confident it was actually happening despite the window not coming up. So now we want to go back into our solution file and our freshly updated Visual Studio. So that's very exciting. And we'll wait for this to load up, because now what we're going to do is build hide, seek, survive. And it isn't happy because we downloaded the solution from the web. Because if you remember, that's how we got our solution file from GitHub. Fantastic. We updated. Tell me 10 more times. Get rid of the Copilot ad. We don't need that right now. Build. And by the way, please don't get Copilot if you're new to Unreal or programming in general. It's a great tool once you know what you're doing, but it'll really stunt your learning. So please don't be using that. If you are for some reason, please stop. Because you got to learn the basics before you use something like Copilot. Alright, so we'll keep letting this build, and I'll wait till it's done and just skip ahead. Alright, so we succeeded in packaging the project. So now we can launch it. And our final check here is going to be packaging the project like we would if we were going to be putting it on Steam. And then we can call it done. And I know this might seem like a ton of checks, but the reason for it is I don't want us to start writing code and then, oh, we have to make a whole bunch of files writable later. I think it's better to just get it all done right here, and then we won't have to worry about it literally ever again. Yeah, I'm really excited to start teaching you guys how to actually write code in here instead of what we've been doing, so that's going to be great. And yeah, you see I'm deleting that build we had from last time in that folder, so there's room for the new one. So just go to your hide, seek, survive builds and delete it. And we'll press play to make sure it's all working. And Windows package project, and that pop-up about the SDK means that there's a file that is write locked. So anything you see about unable to copy, any access issues, we solve it the exact same way. So we get back in here, paste it in, and this is dot build graph. And of course, these are all not writable. All right, so we made those writable. We can minimize and clear the log. And we actually have to close down the engine to get the log to show up. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. So that's why it's good that we fixed most of them earlier. because this is a little slower. So yeah, to get that error to show up, it has to be a fresh open of the engine. And we see already we have a whole bunch of errors, so that's not good. But again, we can fix it just like we did all the other ones. Yeah, another access error. So just copy it. So highlight, right click, copy. Then we'll go back to P4, search for these files. And there are a bunch of them. Yeah, and we just want to make these writable. Okay, change file type, writable. Looking good. Close the engine down and reopen it. And hopefully that's the last one. We'll find out soon enough here, I guess. Yeah, so no errors on open. That's a good sign. So platforms, Windows, package project. And it didn't error out, so I'll skip ahead until it's done. And it looks like our packaging worked, so that's good. So we'll close out of the editor. And now we'll go to our hide, seek, survive builds, and we'll make sure that it worked. And yeah, so it's all working. So at this point, we can call this task done. So we throw that into done. And we can go back to our pending change list. And this is number 28. So submit. And that went pretty quickly compared to the other ones we were doing last time. And now we want to add a comment saying that we're all checked in. And I like to put the change list number in Jira as well, so we can keep track of that. But yeah, hopefully we're all done with the Perforce stuff, and we can get into developing next time. So next time we're going to get into the engine, and I'm going to go over the main classes that we're going to be dealing with. So next time it will be a little bit more theory, and then the time after that is going to be getting to work on our class framework. And don't worry, you'll know what it means after episode 6. So yeah, thank you so much again, guys, for watching. Thank you for liking the video and leaving me a comment. The feedback is the only way I can get better, so I really appreciate it. And definitely subscribe to the channel so you can keep track of this series here. Because at the end of the day, we're going to completely remake this game. And I think at the end of it, you're really going to know what you're doing in Unreal. And you'll be able to go make your own game, which is really cool. So with all that being said, thanks again for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.